All right, let's get this panel started.
Yeah!
Yeah! I agree. Who's psyched, Joe? Who's the loudest person in the room, Joe?
Oh, it's definitely me.
Nope! Oh man, you guys hear us in the back there? Can Beast Boy and Carrie Kelly? Is there any universe that you guys are together, like on the same? Like, is that we're just multi-verse? This universe, I like it. He's like this universe. Then we got Bishop. Well, you're jumping dimensions, so it's your fault.
No, I'm here to kill you. I gotta see my future.
I'm not Gambit. It was a mistake.
It don't matter, man. I saw you. I know. I do that.
Dimension is like
Right. That was a X-Men '92 reference. All right. So how's everyone doing?
Great.
I barely heard that over Joe. You have to scream louder than Joe. How are you guys doing? All right, good. Well, this is the Bat in the Sun panel, and I am Aaron, director, and this is
I'm Sean,
co-creator of me, and he does a bunch of other stuff, like music, producing, and art, and everything, every list he does. The channel is both ours. We've done it now for about 10 years. We've amassed 2.4 million subscribers and 370 million views, which is pretty cool, guys. But that's all thanks to you guys. We have a great team, and we're gonna show you some cool stuff today. Who here has seen our newest episode, Batman Flashpoint versus Killmonger? Yeah. All right, more than half the room. Who here has seen the uncut, brutal version? Okay, we got like 3 or 4 people, which means that you're all 5 people, which means you're all on Patreon, which is fantastic. Which is something new that we've launched to keep getting the beatdowns be cooler, faster, and bigger, because that's what everyone was throwing all these suggestions out, and I was like, chill out, we're working on it, it's self-funded. But if you're like, money, and I was like, oh, okay, well then good, we'll make cool stuff. Well, we're going to show the uncut version today, which is far more brutal. If you have kids in here, it's a little more bloody, and there's a little more swearing in it. It's nothing crazy, but there are some significant things in it. So we're going to get to that, and we're also going to go over just our upcoming battle and what we've been working on, and go over basically filmmaking, YouTube, and all that good stuff. But first, I want to bring up 2 amazing people. They've been with us for a long time, and they're incredible. Without their hard work, our channel would not be where it is at. First, I want to bring up Batman himself. You've seen him in Dodgeball. You've seen a bunch of different stuff. Kevin Porter. And the next person I want to bring up, she was Wonder Woman, she was Black Widow, she was Domino. You've also seen in the Rush Hour TV show and a bunch of other stuff. Tatiana. Get all situated there. We're ready to make this happen. So how are you guys doing?
I'm good. Happy to be here. This is one of my favorite cons of the year. Not only because it's the easiest to get to, but it's a lot of local people that we can meet and see on a regular basis. And we've been coming here since 2013, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And it's been a while because you've been working a lot, but this is the first time we've had you on in like a year or 2 years.
Like a year.
A year.
Yeah, I mean, look at this time.
Yeah, back in there. You guys are always working. Kevin was just working on a TV show in New Orleans. He did a movie before that. Kevin's always busy doing all kinds of.
Kevin's busy. Kevin
busy.
likes to refer to himself as Kevin.
Ryan doesn't rest, and neither does Kevin.
Oh, that's right. And we are working on, Kevin and me and all of us, we're working on a new Batman Joker project where it's actually just all dialogue. It's all like just psychological. That basically, Joker is dying and he requests to see Batman one last time. Kind of like a what if, but it's basically very.
That sounded a bit romantic. It did. Just one last kiss.
Well, Kevin, I love you. So, But honestly, though, the Batman and Joker's relationship, though, is a little, and they have this kind of weird symbiotic thing, you know, each side, two different sides of the same coin. I think Joker, well, the thing is, Joker likes Batman, and Batman hates Joker. But I think, you know, you wouldn't, you know, hey, you complete me, Batsy. You know?
Well,
So,
a lot of people say that one could not resist without the other. You can't have light without a shadow. And I would be the light, you would be the shadow in that.
yeah, that's true.
No, it does make sense.
I agree with you. It's weird that Batman is not the shadow. The shadow of the bat is not.
Yeah.
See, you'd be like a bat in the sun.
Oh.
Oh, would you like that one?
That was good. But we set that up way before we came in here.
It's the first time I heard it.
So I actually asked a bunch our fans online who couldn't make it, and they gave us a bunch of questions, which are on my phone.
And then we'll open up to a few questions.
Yes, and then we're gonna go over a bunch of different stuff. But I want to ask basically real quick, just to kind of get you guys familiar with these two amazing people. Their first question was, if I get my internet working here, which beatdown was your favorite to work on, and what was the most challenging thing on there? What made it like the most favorite, and what made it the hardest like work you had to put into? Because on these sets you have to act and do your own stunts. The big thing is like actors will come up, and stunt people come up, and even cosplayers will come up, and they'll be like, I want to be on the beatdown. And we're like, well, these people they do stunts, they act, and it's a lot to endure. We always say a beatdown will beat you down. I mean, it's true. We all get beat up from these things. They get injured. I know Tatiana has a scar on her arm from doing it. I know everyone's endured a lot of stuff. So if you get some insight as to what it really is like to work on a beatdown and how hard it is that we work to put these together so everyone can enjoy them.
I would say my favorite, anytime that I put on the suit, there's the wow factor. There's the factor that you put the suit on and you catch yourself in the mirror and you're like, wow, because I'm a fan. I'm just like you guys, and I love Batman. And these guys create such an environment, such a world, and such a context that we live within, and the suit is so amazing. And whenever I put the suit on and I look at myself in playback or what have you, there's that wow factor. And I have to say, that's my favorite point. That's what I love the most. However, playing Negan or Punisher was a little easier and maybe a little more fun because I could be much more present. Because when you're playing the Dark Knight, you're not present. You can't hear anything, as she would attest because she's some Catwoman. You can't hear anything, and you feel like everything's happening in another dimension because you're just encased in this latex. And so, even though when you look back, it's my favorite, the experience itself would be like Negan or the Punisher because I'm able to enjoy it real time.
Oh my God. Okay, so when I hear this question, it's always like, so which one of you kids do you love the most? It's kind of.
And which beatdowns have you worked on? Let them know.
Okay, so.
Or I can do it. Wonder Woman, Wolverine.
Yeah, Wonder Woman versus
Spider-Man.
Wolverine.
You were Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
There's no fight in there. You were Domino.
Domino,
Catwoman.
Black Widow, and Harley Quinn.
Gets a lot of characters. You play a lot of characters.
Were you ever Batman?
No one is ever Batman except for you.
Oh.
Like period in general, just there's only one Batman. I would say the most beautiful experience was filming Wonder Woman versus Wolverine because we were filming at the beach. It was really like exotic, and it was just I don't know something was like ethereal about it. However, most of it I was doing injured, so I only had like 70% of mobility in my right arm.
Well, what happened? What happened?
So we were
I was curious about that happened.
We were filming it at the beach. Beaches usually have sand, so just walking on the sand, if you ever tried it, your feet are kind of like sliding whichever way they feel like. Doing martial arts is even more complicated, and you're not really grounded. You don't have a lot of balance going on. And my partner, like scene partner, Jonathan, he slipped as he was, moving toward me, and he's like a lot of muscle. In case if you guys have seen our Wolverine, like this guy, like when he slips, like it's a lot of muscle, like a lot of weight, just like charging at you. and he was already kind of like in his like position to hit me, and I saw the 3 claws like flying at me, and I managed to block it with my with my leather bracer. I blocked 2 of them, and the 3rd one just slipped right off it and went straight into my arm. And I just remember seeing like 4th of July fireworks. I saw a lot of colors for a second. I was like, whoa! I had mixed emotions. It was really painful, but really beautiful. And then my arm was just kind of like hanging, and I couldn't lift it. I couldn't feel it. I just felt like a lot of pain, but then it went numb. And there was like blood like kind of pouring out of the wound, but I already had a lot of fake blood on me, so Aaron was like, is that real? I was like, I'm afraid so. So it was a rep of Tatiana that day, and they patched me up, we cleaned the wound, we actually literally super glued it, and put some butterfly stitches on it and some band-aids, and we were not sure if we were able to continue filming the next day because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to even lift my arm, but 70% of it was back the next day, so we actually managed to finish it.
I knew you'd be back. I
That
knew
was
you'd be back.
quite an unforgettable experience for me.
Good. And
That was one of my favorite episodes. You did a great job.
Who here has seen Wonder Woman Wolverine? Who here has actually seen that episode?
I did. I saw.
Okay, good. That's one of our favorites. It was a great episode. It was long. It was really a lot of work. Working on the beach you think would be wonderful, but the sun and the sand, it was very, very hard. Some things that you think are great are very, 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 very hard. But you did endure.
Well, my favorite, I'm not in that episode.
Which episode is your favorite?
Batman vs. Vader.
Yeah.
You love that ending?
You were the
The
force.
right ending.
You were the force.
Right, and then
You were the force.
No, I would never go against Batman.
But if you did,
Your episode is my favorite as well. The original ending.
Oh.
Okay, that's what you want.
Now, as far as 2 different things that happen on the beatdowns, there's a lot of unique feel to them, and that is done through the fight choreography, because everyone that, we have Alvin Singh, who does a lot of Marvel Netflix choreography. He comes down and he does the choreography, and everyone moves different. So when you fight like Wonder Woman, or you fight like Domino, or you fight like Batman, or you fight like Punisher, they have very different styles. Batman he's way more eclectic, whereas Punisher's more soldier. So you have to learn a whole different fighting style. So the fighting styles add a very unique feel to the characters. And when you watch the characters, a lot of people will be like, wow, these episodes, I feel like the characters, but they don't have a lot of dialogue. And there's so much in movement. And movement is a huge thing. I know Kevin, your friend, Doug Jones, is all about movement. I did the motion capture for Spider-Man in the games. It's all about subtlety in the way you move. Another big thing that gives so much to the characters is the music. And I know that you'll write different music styles, whether it's techno or orchestra.
Well, that's my favorite part of the whole beatdown, because it's grueling on the set, but once that's all done in post, then I start composing the music, and that's where, for me, where I get the most enjoyment, and it all comes together. And each one I try to, I write original music, original themes, and I try to give the character a flavor that best depicts them. Like for the Batman Vader, I tried to do more orchestral, like John Williams, and give it that more of a symphony kind of big sound. For the Spider-Man Darth Maul, that was kind of a little bit more of like a jazz, techno jazz. We had a lot of swing music, and I'm really happy with that one too.
That one was, well, a lot of the characters, like when you have Mighty Combat, which actually is done really, Mighty Combat, I know that's one of your favorites, and that's done really well on iTunes, and it's streamed, it has like thousands of streams, or however, I don't know how Spotify or whatever that works, but I have CDs still, but
Yeah, that was the White Ranger
Scorpion. But when you take those 2 different genres that are kind of the same, Power Rangers and Mortal Kombat kind of live in the same kind of faction, whereas like when you took Darth Maul, which is very orchestral and dark, Spider-Man, which the original song, the 60s song, was more of actually like a jazz theme, and to combine like dark gothic orchestral with jazz is very strange. What people don't know is that my dad has like an actual background in like music theory degree. You're a what's it called when you
music,
theory? I guess no, it's I don't know the word it is, but he's amazing. He plays like 20 different instruments.
I've been in a lot of bands. I was in a lot of rock bands, like a lot of people. I started off, but I studied music, and then
Concert pianist, that's what it is. You learn a lot of concert piano, that's what it is. I'm smart.
I was for many years just a lobby pianist, the person that's in the lobby with the tuxedo,
Way back in the
playing
day.
all the, taking requests, hundreds of requests. So I'm very, very, diverse in many styles of arranging and writing. So it's a joy. That's my favorite part of the beatdown is just applying the themes and the tone that create, that brings the characters to life.
The point is that we put on all those subjects is that we put 110% into each section. So when you go through it and you're like, I love this, well, look at all the attention to detail. It's like because we're fans and because we love it, we want to make sure that it is great because you guys all love it and you guys know what to look for, right? If we showed it to someone on the street, they'd be like, that's cool, but you guys are like, no, it has like the music or it has that the way he fought or the way this sort of thing. You guys know that and that's important. We put it in there so you guys see it. And it's important. I love in the comments, we're like, oh, we did this like right hook thing that he does in the comments. I was like, oh, good, they saw that. Sometimes we're like later, like, why can't we figure out like Reed does a spinning like tornado kick? How do we make that look real and accomplish that without using too much wire work? So we try to incorporate that in there. Another question. Now I'm streaming, but I remember the question is they want to ask Kevin and Tatiana what sort of training, which is open to acting and fight or fight training different because there's a lot that goes into it, or even your love for comic books. Where does that come from?
My geeky history actually does not come from comic books because I grew up in Russia and I did not have immediate access to comic books. I knew a couple of boys that did have them and I did like them, but I had no idea where they're buying that stuff. So I would say fandom comes from movies. Like the first time when I fell in love with Batman was, I think the first one I saw was actually Batman Returns, and then I saw the first Batman. Michelle Pfeiffer Forever is the love of my life. Like I remember when I was a kid and I saw her for the first time, I thought that okay, I want to do that. When I grew up, I want to be this. Like I didn't even know who Catwoman was at the time. That was my first introduction, and a good one. Yeah. So that kind of set the standard, and yeah, so movies basically. But as far as the training goes,
You're training all the time.
Basically, yeah. Because, like Aaron mentioned, for every character you have to have different styles of fighting, which means different styles of martial arts. Like we're about to do Black Widow.
Well, I guess we're announcing it right.
Sorry, spoilers. We announced it on Batman the Sun.
They might not know. They don't have social
Who here
media.
doesn't follow Batman the Sun yet?
Okay, no worries. Okay, great. Well, our next beatdown is going to be what?
Black Widow versus Black Canary, and the beautiful Tess Killmonger coming back as Black Canary. You've seen her in the City of Scars, and she was in one of my favorite beatdowns. She played a Tomb Raider.
And she would be here today, but she's an actual fighter, and she has a cage match that's going on right now. So when people are like, we posted that really attractive photo, and they're like, why do you always just cast attractive women? I was like, you can step in the ring with her if you like.
And yeah, actually that beatdown was supposed to happen 5 years ago, and we had scheduling conflicts, so we moved on to a different idea, and then it was like another thing, and finally we're making it happen right now, which is better because I actually feel like I know more styles of martial arts right now because I've been training a lot for the past few years. A lot of it was for the beatdown specifically because I needed to do certain things that like I wasn't necessarily ready for at the time. So it's like you always kind of like put new things in your toolbox. So today I can say that I touched on. I was actually counting. Like I just did. I just played a lead in an action film, and my character in that movie knows a lot of different martial arts styles. So my training kind of expanded my library, and I counted 18 different styles, and that's not including weapons. And I'm like, oh, I think I'm ready for Black Widow.
There you go. Now Kevin, I was going to point this out because you put on 60 pounds for a role. Your commitment and training, because you go hard on it. You go hard because you went we did a feature with LA Comics where Kevin portrayed Armstrong, and he comes in and it's a funny story because I pitched him to Valiant Studios, and I was like, we should have. And Armstrong's a really loud drunk, And I was like, we should use Batman. And they're like, no, Kevin's like this massive, like stoic, you know, chiseled. We can't do that. And Kevin's like, I'll eat a lot of donuts. And you put on like 60. I mean, you committed to. I mean, that's a commitment to put on 60 pounds.
How many of you guys have seen Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe? It's such a gift to us, and we were happy to share that with you guys. And initially, they came to me and talked to me about playing Exo-Man War. And I'm reading everything, and I'm like, this is like Iron Man meets Conan the Barbarian. Yes, with a little bit of Thor thrown in there. I'm like, I'm in, totally in, getting jacked, getting shredded, great. And then he comes up and he goes, you know what? I think we're going to switch you to this character by the name of Armstrong. I'm like, okay, sounds great, whatever. I trust you. Armstrong sounds awesome. So then I start Googling Armstrong because I have no idea. And he's this big fat guy, and he's, you know, he's a drunk, and he's sloppy, and he's got a big beard, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy. You know, and he's comedic, and he's just not taken seriously. And Aaron said, trust me, this is an actor's role. This is the role that you want. You will be wasted playing Exo-Man War because you'll be in the suit and you have the helmet the majority of the time. And so he said, but how much are you, how much do you weigh right now? I said, about maybe 230. He said, can you come in at 270, 280? And I'm like, yeah, how much time do I have? It wasn't a lot of time. So then I went into what I call weight acquisition mode, which is fancy for just eating everything. Everything. I'm just eating everything. And people are like, hey, Kev, you want to do this? I'm like, I'm sorry, I got to work. I'm working right now. I'm eating donuts. You know, what are you doing today? I'm working. And it's like you're eating hot dogs. That's my job. My job is eating hot dogs. And so, what? Don't bother me, I'm eating pizza. So, yeah, and so I put on, I'd say about 50 pounds for that, and it was fun. It wasn't as much fun taking it off, but it was, that was the preparation for that role. And then they'll come in and they'll say, hey, Kevin, we're shooting Batman Vader. What are you at? I said, maybe 230. That's my cruising altitude. I was like, can you come in at 215? Because whenever you play Batman, the thinner the better. So you almost have, and I'm getting as thin as I've been in a very long time, because when you're wearing a suit that has armor, it'll flare out and it'll just make you look a lot larger. So even if you're muscular, you'll just come in looking, puffy a bit. And so I'm like, all right. And you suffer for a month or 2 months or 3 months, but then you have a product that'll last in perpetuity forever, and it captures you at your best. So it's absolutely worth the sacrifice. And I trust these guys 100% on how I should look.
And you killed it. I think people sometimes don't realize, just like, I'll come in 240, and I was like, wearing armor, you look too big. On camera, you look like a giant. And it's kind of, even like filming, you're like, when you stand next to people, I'd be like, you make everyone look small. Like a lot of times people meet me and they'll be like, you're a lot taller than I thought. I'm like, because I always take photos next to Kevin. I was like, he's like a monster, you make me look small.
Yeah. And also moving around in Batman versus Killmonger, the most recent one, we're shooting until 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So you need to come in lean and mean, in shape and ready to move, ready to fight for 12 hours straight. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So the lighter you are, the better. And I was really light when I came in there. And I listened to what you have to say. You know, Kevin, you need to come in this way because you're going to thank me for it. You're going to look great. And more importantly, you're going to move great. You're going to be more comfortable and you're going to have more energy. And sure enough, that happened. And we're wrapping downtown. And I just remember it was, I guess we're shooting in March, and it was still kind of cold and damp. I mean, it was brutal. And I was really appreciative that I was much lighter because even at this size, I wouldn't have been as comfortable.
So you guys both killed it. And you guys do a great training, and then you can see it on there. And it's really, you guys put a lot of, these guys are athletes, and they're really dedicated, and it shows. I have a hard time keeping up with you guys when I step in there. So, I have one last fan question, then we're going to show this, and we'll open up the questions here. The fan question asks is, how do I get involved, or how do I be involved with Batman the Sun, or be up there? And I was going to tell this story. It involves 2 different people, but it's all about just taking the initiative and getting out there. And anything you guys want to do, like how to get involved with stunts or involved with these things, just take the initiative and reach out, whether it's me or someone else you want to work with. There's like, you miss 100% of the chances that you don't take. And 2 great stories I'll use with us, and they're two grips, and that features Joe and Garrett. What it is, Garrett reached out, he was a fan and reached out, and he wanted to be involved. And he kept reaching out, and Joe is in Kevin's acting class. And so Garrett kept hitting me up, and I was like, I'll figure it out, but I get busy and I get absent-minded. I was like, keep bugging me. And I was like, come down, Garrett. And he came down. His first one was Batman Vader, and he's been on everyone since, and worked super hard and kept his value. And then basically I think we had one of our groups, he couldn't make it, he was sick or something, and you quickly asked, we need a PA, asked one to your class, and people were like, I don't want to work for free, I don't want to do that, I just need to come down. And Joe's like, I'm going to seize it, I'm going to use this as a doorway. And he came down set and he worked super hard. I was like, Joe's amazing. I was like, Joe's going to be a part of the team, like with Garrett and everything. And they've been on this journey with us, and now they've worked with so many different people. They've worked with John Morrison, they've worked with Jason David Frank, and now they get to know all these people, and then they find other jobs because they meet people on set, and they turn that into a doorway. And that's just because of the initiative they took, because they wanted to do something and they went after it. So I'm glad that they're part of the team, and they did a great job. So you guys are awesome, and I appreciate you taking the initiative to join it. And you guys can do the same thing with whether it's this or anything really in your life. I would say to do that. But you guys that's one of my favorite stories to tell. You guys did a great job.
Thanks, Aaron.
So.
I'd like to add on that. Guys, don't do anything for the money. Don't turn down work because they don't pay, and don't do something that pays a great deal that compromises your integrity. Money should never, ever be a factor. And so if you sacrifice and you do something because it rings true within you, then do it. But also conversely, if somebody pays you a ton of money and it doesn't ring true and it does compromise who you are, don't do it. Good things will always happen, and the money will come later. I always say, don't chase rolling nickels. There's no integrity in it. Keep your head high and just follow your internal compass and do something because you want to do it, because it's the right thing to do. And I know, again, I post this to all of my students. I said, who would like to come and volunteer for a Bat in the Sun production? It was Joker Negan. This was my selling point. We're going to shoot for 19 hours straight. You're not going to get paid, but they will feed you granola bars in Panda Express. And yeah, that was enough for me. But you will be a part of something. You'll be a part of a family that is truly making a difference in the industry, and you'll be a part of something that you're so proud of for the rest of your life. You've got that one thing. And if we all had just one thing that we could show to our grandparents that we're proud of, that is such a gift. And so with these guys, I've got like 12 things that I can show. And I had one person in that acting class respond, and he says, I'm there, I'm your guy. And it was Joe. Joe, can you stand up?
Yes.
It was Joe Garrett.
Hi.
He came on set, 19 hours, volunteered, and I remember Aaron and Sean are like, who is this kid? I'm like, he's mine. He's mine. And luckily he was able to, can you stand up, Garrett? This is Garrett Riddler. Give him a nice round of applause. Garrett mentors Joe in the next project. So do it because it's the right thing to do, and never ask what it pays, because that'll come later. It really will, and I believe that 100%.
That's 100% true. I mean, that's how it works. I mean, that's how I ended up doing motion capture Spider-Man for the games. Someone invited me down, I just need an extra hand on stunt work, and I went down there just to help him out. And then the stunt coordinator, that was actually the stunt coordinator on the Spider-Man games, and I got to talk with him and said, I was like, I'm Stan Lee's official Spider-Man. And he's like, great, because the guy we had just broke his leg, and we need a Spider-Man for the next game. And I was like, well, great. So we boom, I got a Spider-Man job that way, and then it all kind of worked out. So you never know, like if you say no, you say no to everything through that doorway. Unless it's Brian Singer or Kevin Spacey, you should always say no to them. But
speaking of Stan Lee, we're putting a video together.
yes, we're putting together. So we had Stan Lee in a beatdown. I know you love this story. This is a good story. I don't know why I don't tell it enough. So Stan was a big, since I worked with Stan and we knew Stan was a big fan of the beatdown, and he wanted to be in the beatdown, which you're not going to say no to that. And so we got him in Spider-Man Darth Maul, which was super cool. I don't know if who's seen Spider-Man Darth Maul? You'll see that. So that's really Stan Lee in that. And we filmed that scene. It was just Stan. He wasn't really on set when we were shooting the fight. We had the set just for him. And I set the camera, but you got to direct him though.
Yeah, we're putting together just a 15-minute documentary of just our time working with Stan and how that all came to be. And it was just like a whirlwind because it happened really quick.
But Stan was great to work with. He gave him one line, and he was like, I want to say more. And we're like, well, that's fine. And then afterward, he's such a big fan. He's like, after this one, I want to fight Batman. I'm fighting Batman in a beatdown. I don't know if it's going to work out, Stan, but sure, we'll do that. But obviously, it couldn't work out. Stan was
Yeah, we have a lot of pictures and video behind the scenes that
we're going to release of Stan working with on the show. So it was really cool. It was a blessing to have him. And great to get his approval. But is there a guy in here who turned the lights off? Is there anyone in here? Do we know how to turn the lights off? It's always like locked. And that they leave. Why did they leave? Everyone looks around. No one knows how to turn it. I mean, is that Joe?
Go for it, Joe.
Joe.
Not this one?
Anything in the back?
I tried.
You know, we
There's a presets back there. I don't know how to touch it though, but there were presets.
Joe, don't. Joe,
Joe,
what are you doing?
Joe.
Joe, check that one out, Joe. Then check that one. Oh, why wouldn't I show the beat down when it's dark?
You know what's especially sad?
No, Joe. Back there. The John Wick guy, he knows. John Wick, use a pencil or book on the lights.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, Joe, you were so close.
Damn.
John Wick.
Joe, I talked so highly. I mean, now you just made me look at it. Oh,
Shit.
Joe.
Yes.
Way to go, Joe! All right, here we go. Let's see the sound. Here we go.
Tell your men to stand down. He's mine. What do you want?
As I live and breathe, the Batman,
Talk.
the boy Ra's-al-Ghul, brought me back.
The Lazarus pit's clouded your already delusional mind.
Did nothing. Outdated. Obsolete.
You're just a coward that kills cause for attention. And I don't have time for this.
By any means necessary. It's all now.
suit. Just weaken the man in the suit. Killing Bane was a mistake and revealed your true strength. That's why I laced my battle rings with Scarecrow's fear gas and poison ivy's toxins. So you're fucked. No! Ow! This kid! I'll kill you! I had to distract you long enough from your feeling effects. Your respiratory system's shutting down. Your nervous systems are aroused. You've got to get cardiac arrest. But that's how it's going to kill you. Sometimes the light at the end of the tunnel leads to hell.
So what'd you guys think of that? Now remember, this is Thomas Wayne as Batman, so he's a little more violent, a little more gruff. That's why he kills and why he swears. Which that swearing line was Kevin admirable.
If you're, as an actor, if you're truly in the moment, and we talk about living truthfully within an imaginary circumstance, and so, and contextually, and we were literally in that basement, and I'm looking at Marquette, who's in the suit, and I'm living truthfully within that moment, and I did ad-lib that line, but it's not anything that I thought about what I was going to do in the future. If you plan, as an actor, if you plan something in advance of what you're going to do in that moment, then you've already lost. You really have, because you're not truthfully reacting. And so in my head, I'm saying, this is what's happened. I've already beat you, so you're beaten. And then it came out, and I didn't think anything of it because I'm in that. And then on playback, I'm like, oh no, I can't. I'm sorry. I'd totally forgotten that I'd done that. But then Aaron was like, no, we're going to use it. We're going to use it in the alternate or the unrated version. And that was a truthful moment. So when I watch it, and that's language I don't use. I just don't use it. But I'm proud of it because it was honest. And anytime that you can capture an honest moment on screen, you should be proud of, because that's what we live every day. And so I watch it, I don't cringe. I'm like, wow, I'm proud of that moment.
So let's give Kevin a round of applause for being the best Batman
It's unfair because I watch it, and I'm watching it with you guys, seeing Batman up there. And it is me, and I know it's me, and it's a weird out-of-body experience, but the suit's great, and the blood's great, and Marquette's great, and the music's great. And so suddenly, I'm just a giddy fan watching a great Batman project. So I could watch that 1,000 times and still not go, oh, look at me, I'm watching me. That's so good. I don't think that at all. I think that's Batman as I want Batman to see. And if we're not going to get it from Warner Brothers, then we're going to make it ourselves.
So before we move on to questions, Kevin, can you give him a little Batman voice?
Well, first of all, Joker, I'm not your dancing poodle. And I'm not here for your entertainment. All right?
I love when you talk dirty to me, Betsy.
Just you saying that you like to talk dirty makes me want to put my fist in your mouth. Which sounds dirty in and of itself.
So we'll cut it off there before it gets to.
Get into some fan fiction.
So we got 10 minutes left there. I'm gonna open the floor up to questions. Just raise your hand. We'll quickly call in. We're gonna try to get through them real quick. I saw Day of the Dead Joker. Is that right? I like that design. That's from the comics, right? Or is that a cool design?
No, I did the mashup myself.
I like it. What? Well, he has a mic. We have a microphone. What?
So yeah, I was inspired just because I love Day of the Dead a lot.
Well, that's a good reason.
Yeah. Okay, so I had a really cool beat down. I think you guys would love a lot. I think the audience would love it. Adam dressed up as the Batman Who Laughs versus Kevin as the Punisher Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Mitch liked it.
Mitch, I can't wait to set your head on fire. You okay with that?
Set my head on fire?
Yeah.
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, I would do anything for you guys. Anything.
You can go with that. I like it. I like the suggestion.
Thank you.
You called me my brother's name, but that's okay. So does my mom. Adam. Mitch. Aaron. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm used to it. Actually, my mom literally does it all the time. So
So this is going back to Deathstroke versus Deadpool.
yes.
I've been wondering what the heck does this mean? This line I love a lot. I even double smashed one time. It's like they say in Japan, Deru Kukiwa, Utare Wu.
What does that mean?
I know it. Oh, you don't think I know what it means?
I don't even know what it
You
means.
don't think I know what it means?
I'm putting my card on the table. Do you know what that means?
Okay, let's more than cards. What are you willing to bet right now?
I will buy you a fish dinner if you know what that
You
means.
will buy me a fish dinner complete with dessert. What if I don't know what it means?
Then you'll be embarrassed in front of everyone.
So I've got nothing to lose.
But everything to gain.
Okay, are you ready? I'm about to blow your minds.
Blow my mind.
Raise your hand if you think I know what it means.
I believe
Okay.
you.
All right. I'm going to tell you exactly what it
We're going to
means.
say nothing.
Itadawu.
Yeah.
It means the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. And you know that's what it means. Yeah.
I forgot.
I know you did.
And I remember them teaching. We brought someone in to teach you. Is that Chinese or Japanese?
Oh yeah, they taught it to me phonetically.
Yeah, like they say in Japan.
Oh, they say Japan. No, I'm stupid. I don't remember them people. They we brought
Like they say in Walmart.
Yeah.
Yes.
The cards there.
Free dinner. Thank you, Mitch.
Yeah. All right. Next one's right there. What are you dressed up as?
Pirate from the Assassin's Creed.
That's what it is. Okay.
Oh,
I should have gotten that. It's not the blade. It's much the blade.
So this is a question to all of you. The series is great. You all give your heart into it, but have you ever, in your own private life, thought about what your lives might have been like had you not heard about Banasson or not created, or maybe went a different direction?
That's a really
That's a great question.
in-depth question.
That's a great question. I will tell you this, and without meeting these gentlemen, my life would be drastically different. I would still be acting, and I would still have a fulfilled life, I truly believe. But I think it was his birthday recently, and I really feel proud of what I wrote in his card. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you. Happy birthday.
And basically, I told him that he changed my life. He sent it on a trajectory that puts me in front of you. And any path that puts me here in front of you is a wonderful, beautiful path. And so would my life be different? Absolutely. Would it be fulfilled? Yeah, it would be a good life. But I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be Batman, and how is that not better? So thank you very much, guys, for being a part of this and,
Thank you.
and leading the way.
Kevin, you would still be Batman, you just would not know about it.
As far as us, I mean, we're artists. We like to make art. I think
We would have been creative artists doing something else, you know, whether it was more successful or less successful, but just being creative is just within the core of who we are. So.
And originally we did the beatdown just for ourselves, just because something cool to do, and then we want, for ourselves in the community, and we just put it online to see how well it did, and then it did really well. So I mean, like if you do art for yourself and you do it true to yourself, it'll probably do well and resonate with others. So that's what it did, and we're
So,
proud of it.
yeah, we're just being true to ourselves, as Kevin said earlier, just be true to yourself, whatever you decide to do.
Tatiana, who would you be? You'd be Tatiana.
I would still be acting and I would still be doing martial arts, but I would definitely not be exposed to, for example, conventions. My first convention I did because of Banasson, and I was blown away. I was like, oh my god, people in costumes, I can do this. You know, it was like super fun, and I was going kind of like through a very rough time in my life, like really dark time, so I needed positive emotions, and you know, like this whole like world of superheroes, I just emerged in it. It actually helped a lot.
Well, that's good. Well, there you go. That was a good answer. So we have almost 7 minutes. We're gonna blaze through these here. Okay, we're gonna go with the guy in the back. We have 2 in the back, and we're gonna work our way forward. And we're gonna go fast. We're gonna go fast, guys. Super fast. We're playing chess.
Alright, quick question. You guys are amazing actors and you have amazing voices. Do you ever use your voices outside of work? And also, I want to see an all Robin beatdown.
Oh. I want to do that too. I want to have Nightwing would win, though. Let's be honest. One, because Nightwing's better, and two, I would be writing it. But
Damian better.
Damian's pretty
Shut up.
good. Kevin, you use your Batman voice on something else in life.
Siri?
Yeah, he talks to his phone as Batman. That's hilarious.
Siri, directions, Lancashire.
And every once in a while I'll say a name. I'll say, I'm sorry, what's your name? And they'll say, Veronica. All names sound better when I say them as Batman.
Arturo.
Right. Thank you for the question. And also there's another question back there right in front of him. Hello.
My question is, how do you guys come up with your conclusions of who wins the fight?
It's a great question. We come up with them from you guys, because the show is voting based, and this is really big because people say you should go off facts, which I think facts based upon fictional characters that are changing every 2 years because they're being revamped is kind of silly. Superheroes are collectively in our minds, and they change all the time. There's been 45 different versions of Wonder Woman, and I think it'd be a little arrogant to just define who I think should be used. So I try to use all the different versions, and then I go, you guys vote. And don't be biased, try to be honest. Who do you think would really win? I love Batman, but sometimes Batman's going to get his ass kicked. So I leave it up to you guys to vote.
Right in front of me.
Well, if you're fighting like Tom Brady or something, you'd probably lose. But not in a superhero. I mean, Thanos and Infinity Gauntlet, you would win. You win.
Well, there are a couple instances where
Don't do it.
Okay.
All right, that's a good question. Thank you. Next question.
Since Kevin did 2 versions of Amazing Batman, how about the Thomas Wayne Batman versus the regular Batman?
Kevin, you gotta fight yourself.
Maybe a stand-in for Kevin.
Well, first of all, I would say that Thomas Wayne is the regular Batman. To me. What? Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. You look like I just hurt your feelings.
All of us were like, I was like, unfollow.
I would be absolutely all for Batman versus Batman.
You would win, though.
Batman would win.
Yeah. You lose? No. Okay, next question. Thor.
Yes. This is a beatdown I've kind of had buzzing in my brain for a while, and I wanted to know what your thoughts would be. Captain Marvel versus Supergirl.
Ooh, I will go Captain. Supergirl's prime. Captain Marvel. Okay, here we go. I would say the resiliency of Kryptonia is unmatched, but I think the experience of Captain Marvel might win out. That would be my opinion, but I don't know. You guys would have to vote and then go from there because
That's a good one, though.
That's a good one, though.
I like that one. That's a good one. Solid.
That's a good one.
Solid.
See, you made me. You had me confused.
Solid.
All right. Next question.
Would you ever consider doing the Magneto versus Thor, considering that Magneto could potentially overpower Thor by picking up his hammer and using it against him?
I mean, it could. I think that if it uses lightning, it could charge Magneto's powers. We usually don't do same universe battles, and I guess they've never fought in Marvel comic books. I mean, I'd have to say Thor would maybe win because he's a god, but I think Kevin, though, if he threw out his hair when he died of white, he'd be a good Magneto.
That's a character I would love to play. Closest I've gotten to Magneto is playing Bison in Bison.
That's right, you're an official Bison.
Official Bison.
That's a good one, though. I would have to say Thor would win on that one. He's a god. But I like Magneto more, so might tip the odds a little bit. What do we have for Darth Vader? We'll get to it. We have Reptile. I like your Darth song, brother.
Everyone's been saying Scorpion, like it's Reptile for classic. This
You
one's
get your outfit wrong, Scorpion. Jeez.
Oh, I know.
Scorpion outfit brain. What's that about?
So, Kevin, I was wondering, did you play any other character in the beatdown besides Batman? I thought, weren't you another person?
What?
Were you another, besides Batman?
What other characters? See, that's what other characters were you?
I was Punisher.
And Negan?
I was Negan. I was Deathstroke. And then on the ones that I haven't been in, I've been backstage and serving the catering. Sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly and bologna sandwiches.
He doesn't do that.
And Tatiana, I'd love to see you as a Phoenix, like you create one beatdown. I think that'd be so fun, but maybe a Kryptonian? I don't know.
Well, speaking of
Pretty much, yeah.
Since we're gonna do, Black Widow, Black Canary, I don't know because the voting's up and the way that I want to say who do you think would win between the two? You guys cheer. Hold on, I'm gonna say one and then I'll say the other and you cheer. Okay, who thinks that Black Canary's gonna win that battle? And worried for Black Canary. All right, who thinks that Black Widow's gonna win?
Yeah! Wow, that was like 80-20.
Don't let that go to your head. All right, next question.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
Kevin's doing Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
Maybe Tatiana could be Joker in that universe.
Oh yeah, because that universe is Martha. You guys would be married.
I put a smile on that face.
Your joke is much more seductive than mine is. We got Darth. Wait, who is no? Right. Yep. There you go.
I have a personal question for Aaron. When you first figured out that you were
long
going
walks
to
on the
be
beach, wine and sweet, and now what is it?
No, I'm kind of curious. When you first figured out that you were going to be Joker, what did you do to prepare for that character? Like, did you like go through trials of like how you were going to portray the Joker?
It's a great question. One, I made sure that I had a really weird face, which is that. Hey, hello there. Which is weird, and I get people all the time like, I love your prosthetics. And I was like, that's my face. They're like, it's really creepy. And I was like, it's not a compliment. I think I've aged myself doing that face. I spent a lot of time working on the voice. I kind of started like, it was a little bit of Mark, and then try to make it original. When we do Batman Joker, I want to really bring a lot of originals, because the Joker is done by so many great actors. Every actor that's portrayed him has done a great job. Even, I know a lot of people don't like Jared Leto, but he's a great actor. He just wasn't given the right confines to work with it. But Joker's a great character. When both times I've done Joker, I've got down to like 140 weight-wise, so I got down about 140 pounds, which I wouldn't recommend doing, unless you like want to lose weight. And then Joker's one of my favorite characters, and I want to explore and bring something new and unique while still bringing, because I think Jack Nicholson's still the closest we've ever had to the actual, Joaquin's amazing, but it's different, and just like Heath Ledger was different and so forth. But they're all great. So I'm trying to bring something original, but also familiar with the character.
Is it kind of hard getting out of the character? Like, because you've heard about what happened with Heath Ledger.
No, I'm already a really sadistic, evil person, so and those puppies were already dead. So it hashtag just kidding. But no, I don't think it is. It's hard to do both, be director, like live in the actor's mind and live in it. But it's really great when you have a great scene partner and working with Kevin. It's great because it also is a big Batman fan. When I see Kevin in costume, I'll be like, "Ooh, you look so much like Batman. That's cool." But I'm serious though. Two more, yeah. We have two more.
We have one in the back there and one right
We'll go Darth Vader. We'll go three more. Darth Vader, then Bishop, and then I think it's Scarecrow. Yeah, John McCrane back there. Don't gas us. Darth Vader.
Two quick questions.
Two quick questions.
Kevin, why are you such an amazing guy, dude? Amazing guy. And number two, out of all the Batmans you played, what would probably be like your favorite beatdown Batman that you've done?
I'm going to tell you right now, I think Thomas Wayne. Because I worked for Marvel. No, I'm sorry.
You did work for Marvel, though. I did.
I worked for Warner Brothers in DC as their live appearance Batman. Gosh, for the last 16 years, a very long time. And there are varying stages of Batman that I can play. When it's for children, I have to play it down. I have to be much more accessible and much sweeter. And so I have to find that balance between being sweet and being authentic to the character. As the audience goes up in age, so if I'm playing an event that's for grown-ups, I could be a little darker, which is much more fun because it's not my nature and it's a little more authentic. But then with Thomas Wayne, I can go full bore. And it was a much darker place than I've ever gone in my life with Batman. It's an area that wasn't explored. And that is something that I would do in a heartbeat because it's something outside of my comfort zone. And it's within my lane, but it's in an area of my lane that I haven't gone. So right now, I far prefer Thomas Wayne. Because when I watch that and I watch Vader or I watch City of Scars, it is a lot darker. And it's how you do the emotional prep, as I talk about in class, that gets you to that point. That's a great question, and thanks for noticing that.
Well, all right, two more questions with the hands and raised. Right there, Bishop? Yes, Bishop.
Hey guys, so I believe I asked this one time before, but I'm going to ask it again just to see if you guys changed your answer.
7. The 3 plus 4 is 7. It's always 7.
Yeah. So with the Wonder Woman versus Wolverine, you guys did a scene for the X Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever thought about ever doing a short with the X-Men?
I'd love to do a danger room battle. Get four or five X-Men and make them battle. It's something like the four-way Robin battle. I want to do it. It's just a high budget beatdown. But I want him. I love the '90s X-Men. It's like my favorite thing.
And he's actually talked to me about it before. And
Yeah.
so he's telling you the truth.
All right,
I said, Kevin, if you could play Cable or Magneto, which one would you be? And I'll be Cable.
Cable. Yeah. So this will be our last question. Then I want everyone to come up to the front, but don't run yet, and we're gonna get a photo together. But first, we have to hear what Jonathan Crane has to say, though.
Well, I'm a selfish person, so it's gonna be about me. Who would you like to pit me up against?
Oh. Well, you've already lost to this guy. You've already lost to this guy. So I guess just like some random guy on the street, maybe. You know?
How about Barbie?
Barbie, you can.
Barbie. Malibu Barbie.
I mean, who would you like to fight?
You, yes, we're putting it back on you. We're reversing roles. We're staring. See what happens? Let's all stare at him. Let's all make Crane uncomfortable. Let's all have fun.
Get used to it.
Punisher.
Green Goblin.
Punisher. Mysterio's a good one.
Yes.
Mysterio's a good one. Scarecrow was Mysterio. I like that one.
That's actually
Yes.
That's a good one. All right, well, guys, I think that I'm getting the flash for the time. He's like, we've been at 5 minutes. 10 minutes ago. But I want to get a photo of all of this. So let's all come up here. Be safe. Be great. Thanks for the question. Thanks for showing up. And let's get a photo of all of us together here.
Every bite.
You really wanted your pizza. He was hoping that you were going to
Watch the cheese just stream down.
All right, everyone get in here. Everyone try to. I know it's tough. Is everyone in there?
Okay, fill in this spot right
Fill in the rows. Fill in the rows. Is everyone in there?
Yeah.
If you can't see the camera, then you can't. I don't know how that works.
Okay, Joe, raise your hand. Everybody get on the inside of Joe.
If you're on that side of Joe, get over here.
I concur.
Get closer.
Okay,
We're all friends here.
ready? 1, 2. Joe, I can't see your face. 1, 2.
the camera.
3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, real quick, go to video, and just hit record, and everyone just cheer and pan it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. We'll be out here if you guys want to talk to us.